That day, when the bus driver asked me to get up, I had this feeling come over me. It felt like Harriet Tubman was holding me down, hands were holding me down on one shoulder, and Sojourner Truth hands were holding me down on another shoulder. And I was glued to the seat, and I could hear the white passioners saying, "She gotta move, she gotta move. That's the law, she gotta move." And I felt like this is my time to take a stand for justice. My name is Claudette Colvin, and in 1955, I refused to give up my seat to a white passenger on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama, 9 months before Rosa Parks. I was 15 years old. And the rule in the segregation that a white person had to sit in front of you and you sit behind them. And so the bus driver asked me to get up. I was shouting, "It's my constitutional right, so I'm not gonna move." And that's when the policeman dragged me off the bus. Most people ask me, "Weren't you afraid?" Well, I was a teenager. I was afraid, but I was more angry at these white passioners. And then they took me and booked me. I still vividly can hear the sound of the key go, and I was terrified. And I started reciting the Lord's Prayer. "Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven." And I was just praying for help, praying that they would go and let my parents know that I was in jail. My mom would say, "Yeah, Claudette, I think you was anointed by God to do this." I said, "I don't think so, Mom. I just felt that this was not right. I just wanted people to come together and unify and fight this segregation."
My favorite part about doing murals is the opportunity to reach someone that usually wouldn't be around me.
This mural is called Breathe Deep.
I believe that you learn your best lessons when you're not expecting to learn. My name is Fabian Williams. I'm an artist working in the great city of Atlanta. I've done over a dozen murals in the city. I came from advertising, and the type of work that I used to do was primarily to sell products that you don't need. At a certain point, I just kind of felt like I was using my powers for the wrong reasons. My work is a mix of race, politics, and humor.
So I painted Martin Luther King floating up in space, pointing down at you because you have to do the work. You have to realize the dream.
I've come to believe that space is wisdom. And when I imagine where someone like Martin Luther King came from and went back to, it would be space. I chose Hosea because his story is kind of amazing. He was a Purple Heart recipient. He was like the general of the Poor People's Campaign under Martin Luther King. He joined the Civil Rights Movement. He did a lot of community building. He did a lot of really great things. The conversation that I'm having with my work is that we need new leaders. I want someone to walk by one of those murals and feel a connection. There's another Hosea Williams here. There's another Martin Luther King Jr. here. They're walking around here, they just don't know it yet. These kids should be able to get up and walk outside their house and be inspired.
Dance is something that comes in every last one of us from birth. What we do is take that and give them an opportunity to personalize it. And then it empowers us to dance at this level. My name is Melva Mitchell-Ako, and I'm the founder of Northwest Tap Connection. Our mission is to close the gap for underserved communities with an emphasis on children of color, and really just open that door for young people who would not be able to have accessibility to the arts because of cost, to have those opportunities that are enriching. When I started Northwest Tap, I was working for the Seattle Police Department. And my goal was that children that I got to see on a weekly basis, I would never see across my desk.
This walking piece is very much about our culture, and you need to dance it that way.
Tap dancing is the foundation of our organization. I strive to make sure that children understand that it is a dance form that comes out of Black culture.
Let me see that.
It comes out of protest, and we have to appreciate it, embrace it, and protect it as we pass it down.
Northwest Tap is a race and social justice oriented studio, and being an African American male, I don't think had I danced at another studio that I would have been surrounded by so many fellow African Americans, and I feel like that has given me the confidence to feel comfortable in my skin. In normal everyday life, I don't really like talking very much, but when it comes to dancing, I am able to just communicate in a way that touches people rather than what they're just hearing.
My feelings as I watch young people dance, there is this sense of pride for the work that they do, but then at the same time, there's this sense of fear and trouble for me. How much longer will we continue with this struggle? Dance is such an empowering tool. We are a community of many colors, many genders, identifications, but we are one. Through these children that dance, we're creating a new tomorrow.
Police say the shots came from one or more vehicles.
Over 1,200 shootings in the city so far this year.
It's time for someone to step up and stop some of this violence.
Inglewood is historically one of the worst neighborhoods in the city of Chicago and also in the entire United States of America. There have been children murdered while sleeping in their beds because bullets penetrated the walls while they were sleeping. Inglewood is generally a place where no one feels safe. What brought me to the corner of 75th and Stewart was a young lady was murdered. Her name was Lucille Barnes. She was 34, and she was a mother, and she was just trying to break up a fight, and she was killed in a drive-by. I didn't know her, but I was outraged. And I felt like at this point, if mothers are being murdered, something has to be done. What size is that? Some people thought that it was too dangerous to go and sit on a corner in a place where someone had just been murdered 3 days before. We went out, we put on pink t-shirts, and we went and sat on the corner. We got some hot dogs and we fed people. We talked to people. More importantly, we gave out a lot of hugs. So we got together, these moms who had the time and who had the passion for it. And I felt that, you know, being there and being a present and having eyes on the street and eyes on the children, that it would interrupt and it would prevent a lot of stuff that could potentially happen. While you're doing that, you're playing a game with a kid that you may never get to play with. We want them to grow up together so that when they're older, they're not enemies and they're not targets of one another. They're not shooting or killing each other. Since we posted up on the corner of 75th and Stewart, there have been no shootings on that block. No shootings, no murders. There hasn't even been as much as a fist fight. There's a sense of hope that they didn't have before. all because we're mothers, and you don't want to underestimate the power of the mother.
Racism and xenophobia are, unfortunately, everywhere. However, one woman is turning this into this. Meet Germany's hate destroyer. In Germany, former teacher Emela Mensa-Schramm has made it her life mission to remove any neo-Nazi stickers and graffiti around her country. It's no easy feat, though.
Nein.
And how does one arm oneself for a war against street hate?
Mit dem Keramfeldschaber oder Nagellackentferner oder eben mit Farbspray.
Emela's been covering, removing, and obscuring these messages since the 80s. She keeps a record of everything she's wiped out, all over her country.
Seit 3. Januar 2007 habe ich über 77.500 Sticker abgemacht.
Every day, except for Sundays, Emela packs her bags and heads off to the streets. Sometimes she nails a big one, like this heart. It used to be a swastika. Other times, it's small, but even the crudest message doesn't slip by.
Meine Schulzeit war leider so geprägt, dass wir von der Nazi-Vergangenheit so gut wie nichts erfahren haben. Das war ziemlich tabu. Und als ich meinen ersten KZ-Besuch gemacht hatte, es war der Schock meines Lebens. Ich muss jetzt was tun, damit die Vergangenheit sich nicht wiederholt.
And as long as there's hate in this world, Emela will be there, can in hand.
Und ich muss ganz ehrlich sagen, wenn ich dann nach Hause komme und die Gewissheit habe, dass ich das alles beseitigt habe, dann geht es mir eigentlich auch wieder recht gut.